Yeah. Hello there. You know who this is. It's your Freddy Neighborhood Joker. Oh, it's a special week. It is the Olympia weekend coming up in a couple more days. And I'm so excited. I'm so ravenous. So any of you who follow my channel who knows me knows I'm a fan. And I love bodybuilding. It completes me. But, you know, we'll have a little discussion on here. We'll talk about what's going on in the sport. We had the upcoming Olympia, and we're going to talk about the ladies and some of the gentlemen. My partner isn't in the room. He's next door. So I'm waiting. I'll bring him in a little bit. I'm going to have a little fun. Don't you love my scars? You love my scars, You know, you think I'm crazy, but I'm not. So anyway, I'm just going to disappear for you, so And what does not make you? What makes us stronger? Makes us stranger. Hey, as you know, folks, this is the Halloween Eve, and right here I got the big Red Bull here, my man Big Keith. He's here. I'm hoping to have some more guests come in later. You know how it is, people to take their time. That's why I thought, we put later in the evening, so if people have time to come in. Because right now it's like 5 o'clock my time, it's 2 o'clock his time. Actually 4 o'clock his time. So we're in a different time zone. He's in the central, I'm on the east. So anyway, folks, as you know, the Olympia is coming up in a couple more days, and but we are going to have a discussion about who's going to place, who looks like is there going to be any kind of upsets. As you know, you follow my channels, you follow me on YouTube, also on Instagram. We had a couple of dropouts just this week. Nicole Zenobia has to drop out because she's not feeling well, and she's a multiple-time figure Olympia competitor. And just recently, another lady just dropped out, and that is Carolina dos Santos Alves. Alves dos Santos. She's from Brazil. This is the second time she's dropped out. She qualified at the Portugal early this year for this I think around the spring, and then she also competed at the Masters Olympia, taking second to Evie Rain. So she's out. This is the second time she's done this. So we have here, and my man Big Keith. He's going to talk a little bit about the guys because that's his specialty. He knows about the guys a little more than I do. He knows who particular players in his game. So anyway, we're going to look over here. I think we should have the Olympia. It should be a list. I thought there'd be a list. All right. As you know, we have several of the usual suspects here. Notably, we have Mr. O Champion, and that is Heidi Chopin. The big question is, will Heidi hold his title? I mean, he beat Big Ramy for it, and Big Ramy, I think he's not keeping this year. Is that correct? My Pony Devil?
He's not competing this year. Nope.
Yeah, so he's out. So it looks like Heidi, he is the guy to beat. Now, I don't know a lot of the guys. I know Nick Walker's in it, and who else is the usual suspect who's competing the show?
Nick Walker, Brandon Curry. We got the new guy from England, Samson. Samson is in there. Those are the guys who Labrada is in there. So those are the guys Oh, Derek Langford is probably the guy who everybody's talking about the most. That's probably going to give Hadi a run for his money.
Hmm. So if you can give a guess, who's going to be like the top three for this show?
I would say, I would say I'm liking. I haven't seen much of Hadi, but you got to put him in the top three. I would say this new Samson kid who won the Arnold Classic this year. I would say Nick Walker will be up in there. Brandon Curry's looking probably the best Brandon Curry I've seen so far. So that would be my top four predictions right there. I would say Hade, Derek, Samson, and Nick will be the top four guys, and Brandon five guys. I would see the top five call out.
Hmm. So so like this is going to be Heidi's contest to win or lose, in your opinion.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Derek is looking really good, and Derek pushed him to the end last year. So I don't know. I mean, it's going to be that top three is going to be a interesting thing. Basically, the Samson kid who won the Arnold. His aesthetics are great. His condition looks awesome. I really like that kid. But then you got Hade with the size, the presentation, the conditioning. Derek then got bigger from moving up from the 212 now into the open. So it's gonna be, Brandon's probably the best Brandon I've seen. There's an Andrew kid that is training with Sean Roden's old trainer, Psycho Fitness. So it's gonna be interesting. It's the top six guys are. It's gonna be a very interesting show. Let's just say that.
Okay, we had just some lovely ladies come in here, and I would say she is beautiful. We had the lovely Mrs. Mary Ann Wachowski here. That's Lori. Oh, that's Lori. Hey, Lori's here. I think Mary Ann can't be able to make it because something happened. I think she sent me a text. Because Lori's here. She's Superwoman. And yeah, Marianne, I'm sorry, Marianne could not make it because a situation has happened and she's out. I'm sorry. Shout out to Marianne. Love to have her on here because she's a great lady and she really knows her stuff about bodybuilding. So, Marianne, do you follow any of the guys in bodybuilding, or are you more just exclusively just about the ladies? Yeah, you.
Oh yeah. I do keep track of certain men's bodybuilding. I just think it's gonna be kind of an open show a little bit for the men. I am focusing obviously more on the women's bodybuilding than I am the men's because that's what I do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the lineup. It was kind of a bummer that some people couldn't make it because of visa issues. So that's always an issue to see who actually shows up, and it really is all about how you come in that day. It's that any given Sunday thing. It's like this is peak week, and it's like who's good. There's so many variables. It's all about what you're gonna bring. You can look great on Instagram. You can look great a week out. You can look great, and then but you got to get on stage that day and look your best. And
Well, we
so
have
it's always
here.
gonna be, unless they're just like someone who's out of this park, it's always a little bit of a wild card.
Yeah, we have here the man behind the mask has come.
Hey,
I can barely
the
see
other
through
thing I
my
thought I was
mask,
gonna
so I'm
die.
just like faking
How
it
are
and
you
making
doing,
it hit.
Mama?
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
Hi, Miss Lori.
mhm.
I thought
Hi.
you was gonna wear the gold outfit for us, bro.
I
I wish
almost wore lingerie, and I was like, maybe it's like I was gonna go full pajama party, but
that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Oh
A lot of the
Lord.
guys they don't want to see us, me or Keith in anything skippy.
No.
Keith's too buff and I'm too fat, so it's not that pretty.
well, I
But
decided I have to do cardio after this, so I just go mystery cardio girl.
yeah, Mr. Cardio go. So anyway, we'll go back to Keith. As you know, he follows the men, so that's why he's here. He's going to talk about the men. We can also talk about the women. So we can also go to 212. You think Clarendon is going to hold his title as Mr. 212? Clarita?
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
I was funny because I just seen him. He's dropping a shoe tomorrow. He just came out with the giant killer shoe. Um, you know, I don't know. He's been got his hands and he's just about to open up a gym, and now he's just dropped the shoe deal. I hope so. I think now that Derek has moved on out of that class, he's the guy to beat for sure because Derek was, Derek is the one who took his title from him. But now that Derek has moved up into the open, I think that's his title to maintain at this point in time.
I don't think anybody's going to beat the Giant Killer. The dude's just, he's just jacked. I mean, stacked. And I think that, since, like I said, Derek moved out of the class, he's going to retain this title.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
like I
I feel
said,
like he's just so super focused. It's his living, it's his legacy.
Yep.
He's just in it. He's all in, man.
Yeah, I mean, between, like you said, he's about to open up a gym. He just dropped that he's just broke ground on the gym. And I just watched his Instagram maybe like 10 minutes ago. He's dropping the Giant Killer shoes, collaborating with some guy and making the shoes. So, he's all in. So it has to be something on the horizon where he's, when the champion, your marketability is much more than when you're not the champion. Let's just say that.
Yeah, because that's why Andrea's so successful. She's top of the game. Now we're going down. Also, we like to say we're going into the next division that is men's figure or men's classic. And we all know, that's what it is. It's men's figure. Come on, that's what it is.
I don't know. I think it's physique is men's figure.
Yeah, I agree.
I think classic is just like exactly what it is. It's classic. It's that kind of Frank Zane, that old school, that the 50s and 60s, and I love it. It's a great look, man.
Oh yeah.
I was talking with Mandy Patek. She says that men's physique is men's bikini. That's what. That's
True.
You know what? I couldn't disagree with that. I could not disagree with that.
Yeah, because they wear board shorts and the girls wear bikinis. So
and their presentation is a little flamboyant at times.
Yeah. So as you know, the champion in men's classic is Bumstead. I know someone talked to me that he had an issue with his arm, like someone's tricep. So you think is he gonna make it, or you think he can retain as the champion?
Here's the thing, Dorian Yates had a torn tricep and won the goddamn Olympia. So, when you're the champ, and I'll say this again, and I've said it since we've been talking about the whole Andrea Shaw thing. When you're the champion and you're the reigning champion, stuff as a Bumstead, Andrea Shaw, or any of these people who retain their title for a long time, they have to be really off for you to knock them out. Dorian came into that show and nobody knew he had a torn tricep or bicep, one of the two, I can't remember, and he still retained his title. So I don't think that's going to hinder what he's set out to do, because it's my saying, George, it's Bumstead and there's everybody else.
Exactly. Someone's gonna have to really come along and start challenging him.
It's the craziest shit when you see a guy who looks just like the trophy. Looks just like every time I see that goddamn handout, I said, "It's Chris Bumstead on the trophy. He looks just like him."
Oh, I know. And how many people have competed with a bum arm or a torn bicep? Like Lee Priest, Dorian Yates. I forget. There's another guy too.
I was on stage at the Orlando Pro and did a front double bicep, and I heard it pop off the tendon. It actually made my bicep bigger, but it happens.
But you're a pro athlete, so I've had bum shoulders, I've had pulled tendons, I couldn't use my wrist for it. You just keep training, you train around it, you train through it. That's what pros do.
Exactly.
You keep it moving.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be this talk that I remember I was talking with Mandy. Said he feels like maybe he should move up to men's open. I don't know.
That's here's the thing. It's such a big jump, I mean, for a guy in his height, that, and he's been in a classic physique, is also has a weight class his condition, yes, stellar, but it's like some of the women's physique girls trying to jump up to women's bodybuilding. He has the size and the mass for a classic physique guy, but does he have the size to stand with a Hade, a Derek, a Nick Walker, a Brandon Curry? Does he have that mass? And that will take some time for him to jump up. That's a big jump. People don't understand. That's a big jump for him to go from that beautiful, aesthetic, pleasing body he has to go into the open class. It's just
because you think about what weight these people are on in their off season when they get on stage. Like the average physique girls rolls around maybe 170 off season.
Yeah.
And then she's 149, 135 to maybe 150 on stage. And you get into heavyweights like us, I'm already 184 and I've just started off season.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about girls who get 190, 195, 200 on the daily. And then, we roll back down to maybe 170. So, like you said, it's a big jump. It's
a big
not
jump.
like,
You know, a guy like me
it's like the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, you know, it's a guy like me who's almost 280 at 5'10", and Chris is like 6 foot. You know, and I would imagine he's somewhere between. I can't remember what the weight class is for classic physique, but that's a lot of mass, a lot of size he would have to put on being so tall.
Yeah, bringing in someone that tall, just bringing in your legs and everything. It's a chore, man. Your arms are long-limbed.
And why? You know, what's the why? You know, Reagan Grimes.
Why go be the champion then suck?
Reagan Grimes, yeah, exactly. Reagan Grimes did it one time where he went to the New York Pro and was in the open bodybuilding and dropped a few diuretics and went down to the classic physique and won the classic physique, but he knew he couldn't maintain that weight, you know, and holding on to that weight. That's why Hade Kupa, I mean, it's a prime example. I was at Worlds a couple years ago, 3 years ago, and heard them talking about him being at Toronto and couldn't make weight. So he went to the open class and beat Nathan D'Asher. You know, so some of these guys like Derek and some of these guys like Hade, like, screw this 212 thing, you know, and the big money is in the open, you know, so that's where they're going. You know, instead of sitting here trying to suffer and suck down and make weight, they say, I'm going to go to the open class. And not only can I go to the open class, but say one of those guys placed in the top 5, they're going to make more money placed in the top 5 in open that they won by winning the men's 212 class.
Yeah, we got some people in here. We got my man KL. He says, hey. Also, we got here your favorite person, Keith. Raheem Hamilton says,
what up,
why is everyone dressed up? Because it's Halloween Eve.
No.
Raheem. We're bringing out our true selves.
Mask at least. I'm like, oh, okay.
Our true natures. You know, we have a guest that's come through, and he called himself Black Mantis. Hello, Black Mantis.
How are you?
Welcome.
The force is
I just want
to.
do you have any thoughts about the? I know you're not a fan of the men, but you ever have any thoughts about men's bodybuilding? You
know. Nah.
He's like, no.
Okay. So we move on to men's bikini. I mean, sorry, men's physique, which is Eric Banks is the champion, right?
You know what? I have no idea. It's too many of them. I have no idea what the hell goes. I have no idea what it goes on it's like you can ask me about bikini and you can ask me about men's physique, and I couldn't tell you one damn thing. It's just too many bodies and too many faces. I mean, and here's the thing. I think the reason why they did this damn point or this win or to get into Olympia is because of damn classes, because of bikini and because of men's physique, because they're like 100 goddamn guys. There's 100 guys in the class and women in bikini and men's physique, so they had to dummy down, and it sucks for men's bodybuilding, for women's bodybuilding.
Women's bodybuilding, it almost killed us.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about it. Hella said it best. You know, there's 10 women doing women's bodybuilding. There should be at least 20 women doing women's open bodybuilding.
There was 16. There was supposed to be 17 at Masters. Masters was the biggest field this year.
Yeah, and there's 10 and there's 10 girls competing in Olympia.
Yeah, that's
because you know with
less than that. Because 1 or 2 have dropped, so there might only end up being 9.
Yeah.
It's just, but they're actually
it's 10. It is 10, Lori. It's just it was supposed to be 12. It's supposed to be 12. It should have been more, but you know the Puerto Rico Pro, you know, they dropped it. It dropped, and they got kicked out of Omaha. Should have been more than that. They got, you know, the indie show didn't have this year, and some other shows. So we're not going to see much of those guys. We're going to move on. So
I really want
bikini,
to see Omaha too. I'm sad that show disappeared.
Yeah. Bikini, it's just too stacked. I think Jordan is probably going to win, you know. And who's the current champ? I think she I forgot her name, but Jordan looks impressed. I follow her on social media. I think she has a great look to her. You know, anybody else is, you know. After that, I would say next up is figure, and you know, and figure is gonna be Sydney Gillen.
Yeah, it's her and everybody else.
Yeah,
exactly right.
You know,
yeah. I was seeing people talk about Cherish Richardson. I think she could probably make top 3, especially the way how Jessica and Lola are looking now. If you follow those two, And they've been like just because she's done like I think she was with you at the Masters. She did Texas for that, and she did the Bleachers show. So she already cut out at least 3 competitors, because she's already qualified. She's number 2. And Lola, she just did the Toronto show. So between Lola and Jessica, they cut out 4 women. I think it might be just a little over 27 women for women's figure.
Yeah, it's gonna be her and the other top 4.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So you can still be a horse in the race, but you're not gonna cross. Yeah, she's just such a standout competitor.
Mm-hmm. I think she just has that good look of both femininity and a good amount of muscle. She doesn't come too styrated like the judges don't want the women come in figure, and she comes in good condition. It's just that she has that all around. She's like Andrea. She has that all around great look, femininity plus a good amount of muscle, and she's maintaining it really well.
I watched her at Worlds, and I know she's really good friends with Sandy, so I'm sure Sandy is giving her input on what she needs to be better at, because Sandy runs that part of the Olympia. So I've watched her run her fingers through Sandy hair, and her and Sandy hug up and all this stuff. But you want the best track to hold on to your title and figure out what you need to improve on. Sandy Williamson is the main line to get to where you need to be, and so I think she knows that what she needs to do to hold on to her title. And like I said, she's one of those girls that she focuses on this show. And again, what people don't understand about this Olympia is these Hottie, the Andreas, the Gilmans, the thing with these people is they only do this they do this 1 or 2 show,
Exactly.
and so they're fresh. All these other people are chasing to qualify. These people are like, yep, I'm looking for the big check, so they're they're not worried about anything else, so they're fresh. Hade Cooper, everybody's talking about the Knicks and all this other stuff. But again, I thought Hade Cooper should have won it 2-3 years ago. And he, this dude is a monster. He's a little monster. He's like Sean, but a way, way bigger version than Sean, so it should be interesting. The biggest controversy in the talk right now is this Nick Walker kid, because he's got the mass and he got the size. He doesn't necessarily have the aesthetics. I just read a thing on Aceto saying he has the mass and he has the condition, but sometimes his aesthetics are not pleasing. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. But again, with these Hades and these Gilmans and this Andreas, and these people who, it's one of those things where it's hard to knock them out because they're fresh.
I know Yia's up her tailpipe for sure. I mean, I think honestly in the women's Olympia, it's going to be our normal 1-2 punch, and then everybody is going to. Then it's going to be who's got the sickest conditioning and the best posing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got here from Rahi. He says, where he says this, he says, only 10, damn, that's sad. Well, you know what? It's 10 of the best women. And the problem is, it's not the fault of the women. It's promoters don't. Yeah. The promoters don't want to put women in the shows, and then shows are kicking them out. And they're always using that excuse of it's not feminine, it's not profitable. Yeah. I understand that. But the fact is, the women need stage. I know Jake has a couple of shows in Arizona. They're pro-am shows. They're amateur shows. But it could be in the future. There could be pro shows, pro-am. I mean, opportunities for competitors. Andrea got her show coming up with Sydney and Whitney, and that's in Arizona.
Oh, that's cool. Is that an amateur show or pro show?
It's a pro show. It's a pro show. It's a pro-am, I believe, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the Triple O Dynasty, and it's going to be in Arizona. So and because that's where Jake would. Jake. Come. I want that money in that gun.
Jake, let me get that change.
It's not for the money, Jake. But if you're good at it, you never do it for free. So anyway, but yeah, it's looks like City Gill is going to be dominant. Now we're gonna go into wellness, and I don't follow to me wellness. If anybody follow who's the wellness queen in that one,
I have no idea.
I think she's Brazilian, so they're gonna win. So you might as well. Whatever. So fitness is one of the second longest divisions behind women's bodybuilding. And
triathlon of the Olympia, man. Gotta nail all three.
yeah, I think it looks like Whitney Jones is coming back. The good question: can Whitney take back the title? Because she stepped back last year. Because she won it. She beat Missy for it back in 2021. Because I think with Whitney, she has still that very feminine aesthetics. Good, not too muscular, very more feminine, more fuller compared to Missy, who I saw a picture of her. She looks like the Walking Dead. I mean, I understand if you get the diet face in maybe in bodybuilding and physique divisions, even figure, but when you get it in in fitness where it should be a little bit more soft and feminine.
Well, and that's again, that's the thing that people don't understand. I don't understand sometimes in some of these divisions what especially the girls division, especially I would say, even women's bodybuilding and like you said, fitness and some of these, what are you chasing? Your pinnacle of what you should be chasing is what the champion looks like. When you're trying to suck down and dry out your face, that's not fitness. Again, all these girls are trying to, John Simmons, my coach said it best, who trains Andrea, said these girls are all chasing after something that they shouldn't be chasing after because they're trying somewhat to get away from the Iris Kyle type of look. And again, I'm not going to take, it's like Micaiah from, in women's bodybuilding. Condition is great, but that's not what they want. They want a more balanced, more balance between the feminine, the aesthetics and all this other stuff. And, if the show was based off of conditioning, Micaiah will be the champion all the time, but that's not what it's based off of, So, and Lori knows what I'm talking about when it comes to that. These girls are all chasing after, this look. And I mean, it's like, come on, it's like, especially fitness. I mean, come on, let's really,
you don't want, personally, you don't want to see cellulite butt creases. You want to see, you want abs, you want striations, but you don't want to be so dieted down that I think you lose the full muscle belly. And that's what I think I see a lot with it's very impressive, dude. The conditioning is insane if you can hold on to that full look. You know what I'm saying? If you kind of lose that full look, like Gio gets fucking crazy conditioning, Spriani gets crazy conditioning, but they have a tendency to keep a nice full look.
Yeah.
So I just think that, and if it's not pleasing to look at it, then people aren't going to watch it, and then we're gonna die out.
And that's why women's bodybuilding went away, because women got, Iris had ticket to that. Like I said, I remember it was 2008, and I seen her walk around. She looked like a skeleton. No offense, and all. And I was like, holy shit, scared the shit out of me. After the prejudging, and I'm like, it's just not. I respect the grind. I respect the hard work, but it's just not good to look at. It's just not something I want to see. And it's not something that's marketable to the sport. And, and when you're looking at something like that, people are not, not say everybody, but majority of the people are not attracted to that. That's why bodybuilding went away for a minute.
Yeah, even looks like I guess pictures up of Erica Deer. She's kind of like short size, and she's really put on a lot of size. She, especially for her height, I think she's like 5 feet tall, and she looks more like a figure girl. She is fitness, and I don't know. It might be a battle between her and maybe Missy, or it might go 1-2, Ariel and 1-2 Missy and Ariel, and then maybe it might. I think it's gonna be chat between two because they're much younger than Whitney. Mr. Where's Mr. Black man?
He left.
He's back.
Yeah.
He's sitting off the side. Yeah, he's here. So anyway, who do you like
What's up?
in any of the divisions, Mr. Black Manthus?
I'm not sure really.
Okay, you just said that. Okay. All right, here we got here. This
I
is for
got many
Raheem.
pictures. I got there's a lot of stuff I like. It's not coming to me right now. Just
Well,
it's a lot of people.
you
That's
jumped
all.
in when you get ready. Bodybuilding dollars is going down. The Olympia is your all Super Bowl, yet no TV deal. NWA, a low wrestling company, got a TV deal with CW. The iron is not to strike. It's hot to strike. Well, that's wrestling. As you know, they're trying to find something to competition with. As you know, with WWE. We see WWE just merged with the UFC. Now they're going to become a new conglomerate. UFC is going to be called TKO. So it's going to be a big threat to companies like AEW. I mean, NWA back in the day when I was a kid, it was very, like guys like Ric Flair and Ricky Dragon Steamboat and Mantier and those guys. That was a great organization before it got bought out by Ted Turner and became WCW. Here he also says this. He says, promoters need to get the TV deals. There is money for them and the bodybuilders. Yeah, I think. Did we hear that? I think Disney might be selling off ESPN. But I can't hear. Can't hear you, brother.
What'd you say?
Yep. Didn't somebody say Disney probably selling off ESPN or something?
Some pieces of it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you remember ESPN used to show bodybuilding. I think one time there's talk about bodybuilding coming on to CBS.
That'll be interesting. The biggest thing with that was The Rock, but remember The Rock was supposed to be, I want to say a year ago, supposed to start a new federation of competing.
That's right, because he has.
But I think when he merged the XFL with USFL, I think he has his hands full with that. So I don't know, what's going on with that situation. But I know that, like I said, when The Rock is a huge fitness guy, and you were seeing him pop up at Bev Francis with Steve and all this other stuff, and then I know Jake ended up buying it, but I think the way The Rock was built, I don't think that it would I don't think the partnership would have been a very lasting one, seeing that The Rock is a very outspoken person versus Jake, who will sit back in The Rock. If you notice, he has his hands in everything, and everything he has put his hands on has become successful. So as Jake has money and throwing it at the sport to keep the sport alive and keep it running for women's bodybuilding and everything else, The Rock, I think he would want more control than Jim and Tyler and people will want to give him. So I wouldn't see that partnership working out very well.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Well, like I said, I was talking with some other people about how they say like The Rock, even though The Rock is more popular than Arnold, Arnold still has a little bit more longevity the bodybuilder because he's been there for a long time. But
the problem with Arnold is like he's just taken out of shows, like even his international shows, he's taking women's bodybuilding now. He's taking out women's figure. He's taking out women's physique. So it's like, what are you doing? It's like
bikini and face slapping.
But you're fucking keeping bikini and wellness in? Are you shitting me?
Well, we all know the TNA divisions always make money, and that's what it's about the money thing.
TNA?
It's about the money.
It draws competitors. You get you're making their money off entry fees and stuff like that too. But yeah, it's a couple of the divisions, like the women's figure, I was really surprised. I was like, figure, that's like a bread and butter division. That's been around since forever.
Yeah, it's bikini girls with a little bit more muscle. That's all it really is. Okay. Here we got here. This is from. He already said that. This is one from Raheem. Raheem says this. It says, Raheem's always hating. Said, George, who are you supposed to be? Keith, who are you supposed to be? Well, Raheem, you don't know.
He's your favorite. I know exactly who you are.
Yeah, I am a particular type of criminal. And I'm wearing the.
You look like you got the Batgirl shirt on.
You wish you was Batgirl. Who are you? Looking like, who are you? Say who I am.
Jokes a little time. I'm just like,
you are just a little man in this world. You never understand the complications of anarchy and chaos. But you're a hater. But after that, let yourself hate the hate roll. If it is
the drag queen ball.
You can love me or you hate me. What are
I'm just a
you?
man with
You
a half
know.
burnt off face.
So anyway,
But
he
then
has one more.
back
He
then,
has.
Unfortunately, with a burnt off face.
Anyway, he's like the man in Iron Mask made out of styrofoam. So anyway, he says right. He said pay per view is dead. Why are they still on 90s concept? Seeming works. TV deal. Jake Wood. That's the future for you for your sport. Well, the thing is, you gotta find somebody who wants to be interested in it.
Yeah, the first of all you have to sell the program, and American sports isn't that easy. Like there's cycling, soccer. I mean, as a female athlete, like you go to Europe and you see a lot of different. You see more sports televised. I mean, when I went to Europe, I was like, wow, they televise all these different sports. So this is a hard market to get into because they're all about the hard dollars, man. And if they don't see any money in it, but I'm always very surprised that the Olympia doesn't make it because the Olympia draws so many people, just the expo and the show. And so I'm always kind of surprised that the Olympia doesn't make it. But
Well, you remember, got to remember back when they did have the ESPN deal. ESPN had their stipulations on drugs and things like that, so it became a big deal where they were like,
I forgot.
they don't want to be associated, with something like that because I think that remember they did. I think it was the 92 or 91 where they said, okay, well we'll start, they'll test, but they were testing for diuretics. And I think Jay and some people guys got disqualified.
That's
But
hilarious because all these ballers in off season run, and it's just hilarious. It's such a double standard too. You know what I'm saying?
exactly,
Because you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
like
that
there's
was their
nothing in
principle.
football, right?
That was their principle on, we don't be guilt by association, and these guys are, this look is so unattainable that everybody has to be using steroids, to look like that. So, that was ESPN's way of sitting there saying, yeah, we're not going to mess with that, but again, Raheem is right. You have so many streaming networks. I mean, for Christ's sakes, when I turn on my TV, there's Hulu, there's this, there's that. There's so many streaming networks where if Jake, or his team of people, which he, with Alex and Alina, he has such a strong group of people to sit here and says, how do we collaborate with the Hulu? How do we collaborate with one of these streaming networks to not just stream it for the Olympia, but stream it for other shows? So, you pay it's like I pay $16.99 a month, and my son plays at the University of Hawaii. Well, I don't get his games here, so I subscribe to Hulu, and I'm able to watch his game at 1:30 in the morning because it's a 5-hour time difference.
That would
So
be
I just don't.
interesting. Like even if you did just their own production or broadcasting where you got everything in a package, you got to see all the pro shows, you got
Yeah,
all the digital magazines.
yeah.
So you could have like a whole package, and I think people would be into that, man. They would be.
Because here's the thing, you lose money on the streaming aspect of things or the pay-per-view because now these people are buying it and then they're live feeding it someplace else. And I remember because the first year they had the Olympia in Orlando, I remember him getting on the elevator and was like, pissed because he's like, I'm losing a shit ton of money because people were doing that. So I was like, in order to alleviate that problem, if you get up with, I mean, think about how many streaming networks there are in the world right now. So if you get up with any of them saying, hey, we got the bodybuilding network, and you can subscribe to the bodybuilding network for $16 a month, like any of these other deals, Hulu and all the other damn Hulus and Netflix and everything else, the Apple TV and all this other stuff. Then you don't have to worry about that because then that'll tell you your consensus on how many people in the bodybuilding world, like Lori said, and I know, when you go to Olympia, there's people from everywhere that are there.
It's so much fun.
So, but here's the thing. Some people come for the expo. Not everybody can get into the damn show because tickets are expensive. It's expensive to go to the Olympia.
Yeah, I heard.
So if you do this,
how much it cost?
Shit, I think the average ticket is $125. And that
Oh
doesn't
boy.
get you into all the
And
shows.
just for prejudging.
In the Orlando
I
venue,
mean, that ain't bad. I don't know.
Lost you.
There he goes. Yeah. Here he back. Here he goes. Yeah, yeah. Because I
It's a
know when
smaller venue.
I went to Savannah. I think my prejudging tickets was 75, and for the finals, it was like probably like 125, 130. But if
Yeah.
that's the cost for just the prejudging,
And honestly, if you want to get close to the pros, they usually are working there with their sponsors, so you actually get to see more people and meet poor people at the expo, and then you get sitting in the nosebleeds.
yeah. Because
Yeah,
what the
at the show.
yeah, one thing it's like a lot of corporate companies are getting involved in. Like, I'll pull this up here. Like, guys like Dave Bautista. Big Dave. He's there. I think he's gonna be working a booth or something. Dave used to be a bodybuilder back in the day, and he was a professional wrestler. Acting now. He's supposed to be honorary ambassador. We're gonna put Dave here.
I have been named the honorary ambassador to the 2023 Olympia weekend, courtesy of a man, Dan Solomon and Jake Wood. So thank you guys. I really appreciate this opportunity. I will see you there. I'll see everybody there November 2nd through 5th in Orlando, Florida for the Olympia.
And Dave's, like I said, was a bodybuilder at one point, been wrestling for a long time. And then also, this is something I saw. I as you know, I do content on MMA, mixed martial arts, and combat sports. They also have an event. I think it is bare knuckle fighting. They have an event. It's bare knuckle's been around for a good bit. It's some former MMA fighters, boxers have got into it because having Orlando is going to be the third. And that night right after the Miss Olympia. And just a lady who I interviewed a while back, Britain Hart just defended her title, and he'll be here to uphold it to death. But it's just a big thing. Bare knuckle. I mean, it's getting popular. It might be.
Sounds painful.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Only thing you have on your hands is the wraps.
No, I'm good.
No, I'm good.
And I know Britain told me that her last time her hands kind of, sometimes this one girl she fought, the girl lost a tooth. My fault jacked up. She looked, I mean, some MMA fighters have gone to it. I got a lady who I become friendly with. Her name is Sarah Too Sweet Alpart. She was UFC, but they dropped her a couple years ago. She got signed to the bare knuckle championships, and that's getting part with that's almost right there at the right look after the Miss Olympia on November the 3rd. I think that's that Friday, and and you've seen a lot of these big corporations. UFC has booths and had their fighters be out there.
Well, and people understand that Orlando venue, if you've never been there, is amazing because the first floor, the first year they had it when COVID hit and they shut everything down in Vegas, and they had to pretty much transition really quickly because that was the year they thought the Olympia wasn't going to happen. So they moved it to Orlando. They didn't have as many vendors there as they wanted to. But that first floor you walk in, for one, it's convenient because it's connected to the Hyatt. So literally you can walk over through the Skyway or you can just walk across the street to the venue. So the first floor is the expo. The second floor is the pre-judging event alone. So it's usually, how they have in Vegas, they have the pre-judging at the expo. The second level up is the pre-judging for women's bodybuilding and all the other classes. And then the third level, it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. The stage was 300 feet, the biggest stage ever, 300 feet long. And the production of this thing was incredible. So there's 3 levels to this thing there. And everything is so convenient compared to Vegas that it'll be interesting to see this expo, how it does compared to the one in Vegas. And everybody wants a hand in it because, there's going, and again, Orlando's a destination place.
Yeah,
after you
and
go see
cost
Olympia,
effective.
you can go see Snoopy.
Yeah.
You go to
Well, and in Florida, it's so cost effective. I'm sure.
Yeah.
They go.
It's still close enough.
I know some ladies afterwards, like I know with Shauna, when she competed that year, she took her kid, the kids went to Disney World. I was, because she didn't do I think she did that little thing afterwards. I think that was she do that little thing after the show. Like they took the pictures and they're all together like that. Yeah. And she was with the kids and went to check things out.
I love her, Shauna. She's such a cool person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd love to see her. I'd love to see her in the top. She's just she has just a great physique. She has a great build. She's a beautiful bodybuilder.
And she's I mean, it's one of those things, and we talked about this, George. She's a girl who, and Lori is right, but if she can just nail her conditioning, because she has these great shapes, but her conditioning, especially, now that she's, just done the Master Olympia World, she was super off. But if she can nail her conditioning, it's like Maya. Like if some of these girls that I've seen at the Worlds, Maya's one of them who I'm, I know we haven't got into the predictions there, but Maya's another girl, and Rashana's another girl that if they can bring in their conditioning from the back. Well, Maya from the back, Rashana just all around, because she just has a pretty physique. Man, it'll be an interesting show, to say the least.
Yeah, I know with well, I remember when that year when Rashad was competing at the Atlanta Chicago, it was just that she got squeezed because your wife was there. She lost by a point, and and that Teresa's had a better back, and that's always been her backside because she's.
We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that.
That's the thing. Sometimes
Lori, because Tina got bumped out. Teresa, if Rashana would have won and Teresa would have came in second, Tina would have been in, but Tina got bumped out of Olympia by 1 point.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it's painful. I know.
You got here for Raheem. He says that I was going to dress up as Batman, but I had to work. Yeah. You can tell. And also, he says, if they get televised, the World Series of Poker or lacrosse, what's the issue with having bodybuilders on streaming? The CW is the best option, maybe. Or there's like Access TV,
True.
or Paramount. I don't know if Paramount would do it because
I mean, shit, if they can put cornhole on ESPN, for Christ's sakes.
Oh my God.
A while back, I was talking
they had the little monkey bar chasing thing on ESPN too, where they're playing tag. They're playing tag on goddamn ESPN. They got teams across the country playing tag on ESPN. Have you guys seen it? It's crazy shit.
Adults, adult people playing tag.
Playing tag, yes. They're running through
but that's the people who ride the fake horses, the hobby horse competitions. I'm like, that's cool. You should just keep that to yourselves, guys. Just like.
But again, the main line for bodybuilding, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, is to get onto one of these. Have a bodybuilding network. Wings of Strength has that whole production deal there, but they need to go to Apple TV. They need to go to a Hulu. They need to go to one of these companies and be like, hey, we want to have a bodybuilding network where people can go on and pay like everybody else. It's just like my package for Hulu includes Disney Plus, Apple TV, and ESPN2. So, I want to add on the bodybuilding network. So that's going to cost me extra $5.99 a month to the package I already have.
But you get everything. You get all the shows. You get all the digital magazines. And then you get you get the articles because, kids don't go buy magazines. We used to go, remember when you used to go buy your muscle magazine, and you looked at all the articles,
subscribe.
My biceps. What's the best leg exercise? You could have all these different things. You could have the Jean Clary to show his bicep day. Then you can show a photo show.
If the NFL can combine forces with YouTube, remember they were Prime already for Thursday Night TV, but now they have merged with YouTube so people can watch all the games on YouTube. But the NFL they're not stupid. They're like, we are trying to reach every demographic possible.
Exactly.
So in order for that to do that, we're going to go to every social media. They got DirecTV, got Dish, they got all these things where you can watch football anywhere on YouTube, on Prime, on all these different things. And again, at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, between the IFBB and Jake Woods and all this other stuff, who is and Raheem said it best, who is the person that's trying to get to this outlet to make this thing bigger? That's the problem.
Yeah, and one thing I do talk about mixed martial arts on my channel. I saw this. This is a young lady who she got picked up by Bellator. Bellator is going to be bought out by PFL. That's another organization that's a very popular MMA organization. Now, she originally wasn't, she started out with another organization before she became with the Bellator. And this is where she was at. This is called Pillow Fighting Championships.
Oh, I'm down with that. That's more my
Did
They
you say
style.
had that.
pillow fighting?
Yeah, I'm like, that's more my
How
style.
this came about?
Pillow fight,
Yeah,
Jennifer
they
How
had
this
it
fight.
on
came about?
ESPN 8. I don't know. They just had an ESP 8, and the lady right there in white is the one who's she's going to Bellator. He's going to fight in 145 in women's featherweight, and the other girl just quit because this is. I mean, I don't
Who
know.
wouldn't want to see a
It's.
bunch
I
of
mean,
chick pillow fighting?
Yeah, but no
it,
featherweight, no pun intended, right?
well, I mean, yeah. Remember, it, like back in the day, WWE days, we had the bra and panty matches, like that. Laundry matches. I think that's what equivalent. But you also had the slap fighting. That's on Dana White or Dana Whitebeater. I keep calling him Dana Whitebeater. He promotes that on his along with the UFC. And you have people slapping each other. They'll
You know
get paid as much
why
compared
he
to.
does it? He's giving people what they want for entertainment.
Yeah,
They,
that's what it's good
they
for. Yeah,
it's
I know.
entertainment. I find it fascinating when guys want to slap the shit out of each other. I wouldn't want to do it, but
You,
it's
Dude, some of those
entertainment.
guys, like, they wallop a punch, man.
you
You're just like, oh, this is
Courtney
not going to be
Olsen was
good.
on there. Courtney Olsen was on there a while back. She got slapped. She was falling all over the place. Courtney Olsen is. She's yeah. And
She got
you
knocked
got
out.
here.
Look,
She got by this girl. Her say was Shannon Wessler. This is for KL. I mean, sorry, KL. Say Raheem. He says the CW is bought out by One Star. They bought it from WB and CBS because CW was a failure to WB and CBS. Oh, okay. So they no longer own it. So maybe One Star might be interested. Also, he says this. He says bodybuilding needs to get sponsored by other stuff besides bodybuilding supplements and apparel, and workout gear. But it's hard for those ones that want to, put their money behind it. I think, like, if you think about something like Gatorade or maybe shoe apparel, think about it, just Gatorade alone, which that's part of Pepsi, that would probably be enough money. Or you think about one of these shoe companies, like, don't have to be Nike. It could be something like Skechers. They can probably bring in, I know some, anything that can bring attention to it. Also, this is from Raheem. He says Roku is great streaming place. Yeah, okay, Roku. And also he says NFL got your YouTube and Paramount posts as well as CBS and Amazon Prime and NBC. Yeah, and I know I was saying earlier about he says about he's talking about this about the Dana White beater. Dana White beater says Dana White has a slap boxing that contest as well. Yeah, I know that. But it's just these are something. If bodybuilding had more mainstream attention, it would be great for it. But we're getting off subject, so we're going to go back on to who's next up. Now we'll end up the last two with we're going to go with physique and then end off with the big girls. So we all know we have a battle between Sarah Vilgas and Natalia Coelho.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going for Brooke Walker. My opinion. It's just I think Brooke has more aesthetic pleasing look. Great. She kind of reminds me a bit of Corey Everson or Sandy Riddell.
I think she'll make the top 10 or 5, but I just think you're not going to touch those two right this second.
They're too hot. They're too hot, and the top is too hot.
She looked damn closest. The girl with the I don't want to butcher her name. The Brazilian girl who's been.
This is Natalia. Just say Natalia. You need to say last name. Say Natalia because
yeah. Is that she was damn near fucking perfect. Excuse my language. She was damn near perfect last year. I stared at her. She looked like an action figure, man. And so and then the other girl, she seems like she's got, she was definitely upset about getting second. Word on the street was that she kind of held back a little bit because she thought she was too hard, and then Natalia came in just hard and big, and she was like not gonna let that happen again. So yeah, I just think it's gonna be like the Andre Yeo. It's gonna be our normal 1-2 punch out, and then it's gonna be down the line.
Yep.
Because I just think Natalia is just she just lives and breathes it every second of her life, and it's hard to beat someone like that, man. Like who just wakes every atom of their body is just what they do. You know what I mean? It's like you can't. It's hard to get up on someone like that because that's what she does every waking moment, even in her sleep, probably.
Because she had like 2 shows back to back before the Olympia. Even
She
she
wins
missed
every
Olympias.
show, and then people get all pissed because they're like, "Oh, well, she's already qualified. Why is she doing that?" Well, first of all, it's her job. She gets paid to. Her sponsors want to see her. Her fans want to see her. And you know what? If you don't like it, go beat her.
Well, that's the thing is, it's hard to beat the current champ. I understand that, but you got to see this.
And their checks are not like the men's checks, so they got to do these shows. I mean, like it's just. I mean, people say it's like they get mad because she does shows. Like she got to make a living too.
Some people can genetically do multiple shows, and some people can't. Some people
like
can.
Sean said,
some people can just like that's their. And she's hella young too, so she can probably just sometimes that those people who are genetically predisposed to just recovering and beast training. It is what it is.
The guys and Sean will tell you like us guys in this era we're pussies. Sean and Flex and Chris Premier and all those guys, they would do multiple shows in the 90s and compete. They would compete to go from the Olympia, go overseas and compete some more and make money. And they're like, you guys are a bunch of fucking babies. You got your meal prep companies and all kinds of bullshit. We didn't have any of this stuff. And they were better than us. They were.
Back in the day, you had to have a pain-in-the-ass girlfriend to cook for you, or you did it all yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There were decisions to be made.
I got Vinny here. He has his predictions. Vinny says this. He says my top 5 prediction for women's physique division: Natalia Cuejo, Sarah Vilgas, Ann Moon, Emily Sherbert, and 5th is Brooke Walker. And Emily, she looks impressive. Also Raheem says Emily will win it all. I don't know. There's debates that some say that Emily might need to switch because if you look, this is her. She's posted. She's always posting. This is her right now, and I mean,
that is not women's physique.
But my thing is this: women post all day freaking long, and if you've been to a show, you've been to a show. How many times you seen a girl post all day long? She don't look nothing like that on stage.
Hey, Dexter Jackson said it best. You can post all that shit, but better bring.
Yeah. It's you at that judge that day, and what they're looking for, and what you got.
Yeah, because I remember someone telling me one young girl, Coley, Amanda Coley. She's from Sweden, and they say she should go up, but she's still young and she doesn't have. She's growing, but she's not going to be truly women's bodybuilding. And and it's all about proportions and also.
Yeah, and honestly, we don't know her statistics. We don't know how much she weighs right now. She gets on stage at like 145, 150. These big girls are going to eat her alive. We're rolling on stage at 160, 175. You come out there at 148.
Hey, like we say, everybody looks good before a show.
Yeah, exactly. And you never know. People look flatter, people look fuller, but the lighting at the show. I mean, there's so many variables, but it's what you bring that day, man. Like even it's down to like if you're back there and you see like the lighting's a little off or something, that's why I like backstage tanning, man. You're like, I need another coat before I hit the floor. You just gotta. There's all those things that you learn and you do, but that's why I don't put a lot of weight into social media because, honestly, it's when I'm standing in line with you. It's like what's in front of me, what's behind me, and then that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get this from Raheem. Raheem says, Dana Wife Beater has the slap. Okay, and also he says that's the wrong one. It says Dana making kick in the nuts contest coming soon. I will be surprised by that. He says, he also says this is Nat is going to win it all this Saturday. That's probably. I think this is physique competing Saturday or the Keaton Friday? Saturday or no, I think it's tomorrow and Thursday. I think it's the amateurs, and then I think no. I'm sorry. Thursday and Friday is the amateurs. Then I think Saturday is the women's physique and women's bodybuilding, all the in other divisions, and then Sunday ends off with the with men's bodybuilding and bikini.
Yep.
Yes, sir. This is from Raheem. Also, he says this. He says, Nat. Okay, yeah, okay. He says Nat is going to take your woman down, George. Oh, he was talking about it. Nah. That Natalia. She'll get a chance. Not with her Botons. Okay. Also, he says, you know how Raheem like to hate. He says, like the great Slick Rick said, the party's over this weekend. Nah, not that party, brother. Not
We
that
already
party.
know that Raheem is antagonizing the shit out of us because
Yeah.
he already admitted, he's already openly admitted it on the air with this. He likes fucking with this.
I can just see him. He's dressed as like Mr. Kool-Aid because he just shares the haterade, right?
You know what I'm saying? Drink it up. I'm like, come on, man.
We got here. This guy, my man, Mr. Glenn Young, over at Amazon Fitness Magazine. He's going to be at the Olympia. Women's physique and women's body are two horse races. Yeah, it's different horses. You have here. You have Clydesdales versus
Did you just call me a Clydesdale? No, I'm just joking.
Well, you got Clydesdales versus ponies. So that's how. But I'd say these impressive women. We have some. I think I saw that Ashley Young might be going up, or she might be just taking the year off, just bringing in conditioning. I don't know. She had said, but as this impressive women. And this is from Glenn. He also says, shout out to Glenn. Talia and Sarah, Andrea and Angela have separate themselves from the field on another level. Yeah, I believe that. And Glenn, he does photo sessions and he does content on when go check out my man Glenn.
It's gonna be some like old school Kai Green, Phil Heath action on that women's physique, boy. I can tell you that right now.
All I know is those girls are bringing it this year, man. Even at Masters, they were just like they just brought the physique girls are bringing it hard, man.
Yeah,
really,
their
conditioning is like all the women are. The conditioning is on point, and everybody's coming in just looking great. And they're all hitting that criteria pretty much perfect, man. And
I've been saying this for the last couple of years when it comes to women's physique and even men's classic physique. The conditioning of those two classes compared to the bodybuilding is like no other. It's crazy.
I know. I feel bad because I feel like we could be. If one thing I would want to see in women's bodybuilding, and I am personally in holding myself to the standard this year too, is the improvement in the conditioning, and getting more consistent with it, because that's what I kind of noticed in like the Opens women's bodybuilding is the consistency is kind of like
all over the place.
Over the place. You know what I mean?
Also, he just right here he says. Emily McCowan, first Olympia. Emily from our home state, North Carolina. Also, Alex Flex Hall, her first Olympia. And Alex is impressive. I mean, I think she might be a top 10 contender. But, it's going to be tough. It's a lot more bodies in women's physique than it is women's bodybuilding. But if you go ahead, what y'all saying?
Oh, I'm just like, not only are the women in physique like coming in hard and their conditioning is awesome, but it's stacked.
Yes.
It reminds me like the old school bodybuilding. I mean, break that top 20 is brutal, dude.
And I told him, Lori, I said, here's the thing. And me and George talked about this last week. I said, here's a big thing. A lot of those girls are starting to slide over to women's bodybuilding because the women's physique class is so stacked with so many good competitors that they're like, well, if I add a little bit more side and slide on here, I have a better chance in women's bodybuilding because their conditioning is not as stellar as women's physique.
Yeah, it's all over the board, man. You gotta,
So it's so many girls in that women's physique class that, like George, you show me when what was her name? The girl from Vegas, Chelsea. When you put Chelsea next to the girl in women's physique, we couldn't tell who was the bodybuilder and who was the women's physique winner because it's such now a gray area of the two. That like Amaya and like, some of these girls who slid over from women's physique that are going to women's bodybuilding and coming in with a little better conditioning are doing well, in women's bodybuilding. And so, I mean, those women bodybuilder girls better get their shit in gear because, that some of these girls like, I mean, think about it. Maya remember we talked about this, Maya, the year she was the New York pro in Tampa. was dead last in Louisiana and came to the New York Pro in Tampa and won the damn show. So it just tells you some of these girls can make that jump over and do well in women's bodybuilding and shit. I mean, she won the show, you
And
know.
I think
So,
it's interesting that the judges kind of will let you know that it's time for you to move, because you're like, you won't make top 10 anymore. You get closer to last place, and boom, and then she won.
Yeah, and a good example is Sherry Priami. Sherry, she competes with physique. They switched over. One, she did pretty good last year. Taking second to Angela at Chicago. Then I think she was second at another show, and she was third, I believe, at Tampa. And she was that close to qualifying by points to Olympia. But the story was that her daughter got sick and she had to tend to her, so she missed out. I even talked to Sherry. Sherry said she might be taking a year off and maybe work on a few things, but she was pretty impressive. Also, there's a lady who competes in physique, and that is Mimi Shalon. She's from Cameroon, Africa, and this is Mimi right here. And Mimi, she's physique, and I think she's gonna stick with it. Where she looks really good. I mean, very impressive. This is gonna be her second Olympia.
Wow, look at that waist. That's crazy.
She
that
beat
waistline is crazy.
Yeah, she beat because she was competing at the Daytona, and top three was her, Jada Beverly, and who's the other girl? I forgot. Jada, she told me that she wished she flexed her abs for that show because she might have made the difference. But she has the broad shoulders. Look at the taper, the waist. Look at the quads. She's not too big. I think she's going to stick in physique. I think it works for her. I've been in contact with her. I hope the opportunity after Olympia we can do an interview. This is from a man, Glenn. He's like doing some advertising out there, folks. It says, I'm leaving Wednesday morning early, and first shoot is going to be Thursday. So I'll let some people know who's interested. If you're interested, you can go to his Amazon Fitness IG page, and if you want to set up a photo shoot with Glenn, he also has a magazine. So if you're interested, maybe
is that the one Teresa was on?
Yeah,
Teresa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Teresa and Rashana both. Yeah, because I met Shana. She was down here that last summer, right after she went to Puerto Rico, and I met with Shana. She had a seminar. We get enough people there, but I got to meet Shana. It was a great opportunity. And if any I'm going to post it in my YouTube and also my IG. If any ladies who follow me and you want interested in set up any kind of photo shoot with him, you can go check it out. So anyway, as you know, we pretty much know who is going to win women's bodybuilding. There is no doubt. There's no question. She has been dominant champion for the last 3 years. I don't really need to speak her name, but you know who I'm talking about. She is I think she's really
Grocery crushing.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I'm not a player, but I crush a lot. And I think that it's no question, without a doubt. It's gonna be Andrea. I'm telling you, she's just. I mean, I know a lot of people talking about Angela, but Angela, she's just still a bit undersized.
And the crazy thing is she's mad right now because Angela actually put on size from last year, but in quite a bit of size, but it's still. I mean, it's just it's you can put on size, and I think she put on enough size, but if she keeps trying to do that, she's going to mess up her lines and her physique. And Andrea is just one of those girls that I can tell you one thing. Y'all better. I got some inside information, but y'all better. It's about to be for real.
Well, she doesn't. She likes to stay covered, which I think is like really cool because it also stops all that chatter, And at her level, she can do that. She doesn't have to cater to anything or anybody. But
like I was
every now and then you get a glimpse of her, and she was doing some arm stuff for Mutant and her biceps and her shoulders, dude. And I was like,
well, dude, you seen her when she was doing that
girls for real.
Well, you seen her when her and Angela and Natalia were working out after the Worlds. I was like, holy shit, she was incline pressing 225 like clockwork, like, yeah, all in the day's work. I'm like, don't sleep on her, because she used to be a power lifter,
Yeah.
So I mean, but yeah, she about to bring some shit to the Olympia, I can tell y'all, because everybody thought she looked good at Worlds. She wasn't even close to being
never
where she's
peaks
gonna be
at
at the
Worlds.
Olympia.
Me and my coach were talking about that, and he's
Nope.
like, she comes in, but she ain't peaked, because you'd be careful, you don't want to peak too many times. You got to, you want to bring that best package to Olympia, so yeah, I always feel like she comes in like 78, 82%.
I think John and her have a formula that works for them, and it is bananas what they do to bring her into a show. Like, here's a prime example. Was 2 world championships ago, and this is a true story. Her ass is backstage eating an apple pie, a whole apple pie, not half apple pie.
She should have apple pie.
That is so old school, dude. That's like
and she came on stage, and I'm sitting there, and I looked at Alina Popa. I go, I watched. She goes, no, she ate that after. I said, no, I'm watching her eat that. I'm watching her eat that backstage as she's pumping up.
Well, you remember old school. My coach uses it too. It's the pie filling. Man.
Well, Chad used to do that with Ronnie. He made his pie filling, for Ronnie Coleman. And shit works. I mean, this year she ate chocolate cake. I watched she ate chocolate cake this year.
We always bring a little arsenal of stuff, and we see what works, man.
But her and John has that shit to a science.
Yeah.
And he's a dude who's in tune with her body. And that's why, when you have a coach like that who knows your body inside and out, it's just hard to reckon with it, because you know what she responds to and what she doesn't respond to, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Well, also Angela, she's a power lifter. She does a lot of powerlifting. Natalia, you look at the video here. She got some good arms on her, but the thing that does take away from her physique is her giant bolt-ons. I mean, at one point she was doing a bench press, she didn't go all the way down. Only person who's saying she's want to win are the guys, the fanboys, the schmoes, who are super excited, who are right now probably got their lotion and their napkins ready when she gets in a suit.
How tall is she? I forget. She's over 6 foot, right?
Who, Natalia? No. I mean, when she's wearing those heels, she's like, I want to say she's 5'7".
Oh, 5'7". She's a little taller. I thought she was taller.
She wore the heels, yeah, because and this is from when she's doing the bench press, and it didn't really go all the way down, because it's just, and she's impressive.
And my question is, why do you got to do bench when your boobs? I know upper chest, I guess, but
you still want to have you still want to put the pencil between them, but I'm like, it takes all kinds
Lori,
of
I guess my question, Lori, is, Lori, what's your opinion on her breast size?
I'm a athlete aesthetics person, so I think sometimes it isn't proportionate on some people. So
I'm asking you, what do you think about her aesthetic? Her when you look at her as a
you got to be careful, because she has to. Sometimes she might be backstage with some of these women, and I don't want her to get into too much trouble, because I don't know.
No. I'm asking.
He's putting me on the spot.
Yeah, don't put on the spot.
I mean, because as a judge, I think it's too much.
It's unbalanced.
So, it's unbalanced. I mean, it's distracting. Compared to look at the champ. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So my question, I mean, it's like when you're looking at something like that, it's like, how do I get past the fucking the boobs? I mean, and I'm not even a boob guy, but I'm like, they're there. I seen her at the I seen her at the World Championships in a leopard print outfit, and I'm like, God damn! I'm like, it just looked cartoonish. I'm like, this, nothing about it looked right. Let's just say that. If she was a porn star, absolutely, no offense and all.
No, and everyone. Then there's a market for everybody, and but I do think you lose your balance. Sandy once told me she's never marked a girl down for not having a boob job, but she's marked a lot of them down for not looking balanced and being too big. So if you look top heavy.
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
because you can't do a proper side chest, proper tricep.
Well, I'm gonna post this. I'll play this video from the Olympia channel where they, the guy he was at the event too. He was talking. I think he's more in love with Natalia than actually, follow her physique. And we'll post it here.
And what was striking was that she actually has the muscle mass to go against Andrea Shaw. A lot of the other competitors, they do not have the muscle mass to go against Andrea Shaw. So in one criteria, Kovaleva can battle against Andrea Shaw. She might be behind in terms of lines and shape, which is okay. Maybe she can beat her on conditioning, but we got a competitor that once they hit a friendable biceps, Andrea Shaw is not just going to overpower.
Well, so this, as we look at the conditioning she brought in here at the New York Pro, and she looks at the size, you talk about the difference between the lines where an Andrea Shaw might have more of an iconic Linda Murray type lines with the V taper and all the beautiful structure. We're going back here to an Iris Kyle, Vicky Gates, Yakseni Oraken era of just mass.
And that's the thing is they don't want to go back to
an Iris Kyle, Vicky. It drives me fucking crazy. Excuse my language. It drives me crazy when they say dumb shit like that because that's the look again that they were trying to get away from.
Well, my thing is this too. We got this criteria of confusion where, you've got a classic physique like Andrea. You've got girls who are going who are following that bodybuilding because there is no separate men's and women's bodybuilding rules. We all try to follow that same criteria.
And Andrea is bigger than Linda.
Yeah.
Andrea is bigger than Linda. So, I'm like, it's one of those things. It's like, I'm like, when you're sitting here, like, I'm not going to say what I want to say about the person who was, critiquing those pictures whatsoever. But I'm just like, I don't, it's again, here's the thing at the end of the day. You're looking, excuse my language, fans, you're looking at one fucking picture. It's about the sport. Lori, correct me if I'm wrong because you're a pro. It's about consistency.
Yes.
Natalia has not been consistent in anything she's done in the sport whatsoever besides winning the New York Pro. What has she done besides winning the New York Pro? What has she done?
Couldn't.
Yeah. Well,
tell me?
Yeah. We got some people right here. This is from a man, Raheem. He says, I should do a bodybuilding show next year. I don't know, Also, we have here from everybody's opinions are your top 5 finalists competing at this year Miss Olympia in the women's bodybuilding division. We'll get to that in a minute. Also, we have here from Warrior. He says, I don't know about Natalia Kovaleva is going to be in shape or not. She's wishy-washy. Keith just mentioned that.
Thank you.
And also,
you guys are hardcore.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the thing. I'm not saying that because I'm being an asshole. I'm saying that because I watched her compete over like she didn't do Worlds. Everybody else did Worlds. She didn't do Worlds. And a person said to me, and I'm going to put his name out there, said to me, if you place in a top 3, you should be happy. If you place in a top 3, you should be happy. And it's not about being an asshole, but when it comes to, when you're looking at, let's start with the champion, and then you're looking at Maya, and you're looking at Micaiah, and you're looking at, Andrea, her girls have been consistent at what they've done in the sport in the last 3 or 4 years. They've been consistent. They've won shows. They've been consistent. Natalia comes in her best shape ever, and I'm not going to take nothing away from her at the New York Pro. But other than that, she has not been as consistent as all the other girls that are competing in this show. It's a fact.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to be an asshole, but when you have the champion who's as consistent as they come, and you have an Angela who's as consistent as they come, and you have a Maya, and you have a Micaiah, and and so on. Those four girls, and if Chelsea, I can throw Chelsea in the mix in there as well. But those girls are consistent. That's all I'm saying. Is consistency is the key to being where you want to be when it comes to these top 5 girls.
Yeah,
and
you're
those
always
top 5
striving
girls,
to be better. You're always like, okay, I came here. I'm on how many places can I move up next time? You're constantly correcting.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Lori, because that's all I'm saying. I'm saying it's about a consistent basis of watching those girls throughout the last 3 or 4 years move either up or stay in the same spot that they were because they have been consistent.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely correct. No, there's nothing.
We got this from Warrior 2000. He says, I don't know about Natalia Koleva didn't do the Rise of Phoenix, so that concerns me about her placing. Yeah. We have here Glenn Young says in 3 days, anybody will be upset battle between Chelsea, Rashana, and Julia. That's kind of scratch. Also, that's for Vinny. He says his top 5 is Andrea, Angela, Kovaleva, Sherry, and Julia Wessel.
Now that last top 4 is going to be. There's so many. There are some girls like you were saying who are super consistent, who have great conditioning and good size. So
I had a personal conversation with Maya because I love her to death, and she's really good friends with me and my wife. And I told Maya, I looked at her and I said, girl, because me and John were sitting next to her, I said, from the side to front, she is just, she flows. She has that flowing look. I go, if you can get dried out from the back, and there was a couple girls at that show, I said, if they can get dried out from the back, they can move up some spots. I said, but everybody looks good from the front and side, but back is where shows are won. If you look at Jay Cutler, when he was trying to go after Ronnie for all those years, Ronnie loved to turn his ass to the back because you had no chance of beating him once he turned to the back. His glutes were striated, his back, his waistline, everything else. And that's what I told Maya. I said, if you can get dried out from the back, her potential, she can be jumping that top 3 easily if she can get dry from the back. Rashana is another girl. If she can get just conditioning and hard, she can be a top 4 girl. Angela and Andrea, everybody knows Andrea and Angel. That's it is what it is at the end of the day with those 2 girls. It is what it is.
I'm going to interject because I thought this has been in the back of my mind this whole show, which was really interesting because Helen Trevino came in 3rd last year and she looked fucking phenomenal. Excuse my language again. Yep. I like Helen Trevino, man. She's a consistent bodybuilder, and I was kind of surprised that she didn't compete this year, or I expect her to come and fight because she was so close last year. But
I would say close. I feel like that Bronca should have gotten 3rd. Hella wasn't. She's consistent, but her because she had an injury earlier that year.
Her shoulder.
Shoulder injury.
And but look how damn, for having a shoulder injury and a surgery. I mean, look at some people; they never come back. She got 3rd. I was like,
that's pretty good.
But here lied the problem: is her and Margie went on stage talking mad shit. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and like I said, I was there, and Andrea just kind of looked at both of them like, okay, all right. Helen was talking about how straighter her glutes were, and actually, Psycho Fitness had a good analogy on this. It's like everybody they think a little too hard when it comes to this striated glute shit, and it's like sometimes when you try to get your glutes too striated, that it takes away from something else. And if you look at Andrea, you see the striations in her glutes, but they're not overbearing like a Micaiah. But it's just the subtlety of the balance between the 2, and not too much and not enough and not too much, that is just pretty. again.
Yeah, well, the thing with women's bodybuilding is if you get too shredded, you lose the fullness of the muscle. You look like you have less mass almost.
And again,
Andrea's really struck this beautiful balance, and I know it's her fabulous coach too.
And again,
they struck this balance of these beautiful.
As Sandy and Steve said, when she's on stage, you cannot take your eyes off of her because of how she presents the whole entire package.
Yeah.
It's just everything. I'm sitting in the stand yelling at the top of my lungs for her because I'm like, show them who's queen, baby. Show them who's queen.
Yeah.
Because when she goes out there, I mean, Gilman's her coach, her posing coach, you know, and so girls don't like the way she poses. And I'm like, well, maybe you
I
should
love
take
the way she poses, actually, and me and my coach talk about that all the time.
It's so eloquent.
This whole thing where women are being trained to pose like men, they need to
stop.
This is for Raheem. He says this. He says, you know, Raheem's always, you know, Keith George, why are you hating? Heating? You see heat? I don't know what's heat. We got hot on her breast size. We're not hating. It's just that it's just awkward looking. That's what it is.
I'm not a boob guy, so I really don't care. What I'm saying is it takes away from her physique. So as a judge, Raheem, a head judge, and a judge, when I'm looking at something, it takes away from her physique. That's all I'm saying. I don't care about her boobs. I mean, that's what she wants to have. That's what she wants to have. But as a judge,
that women get into bodybuilding for all different reasons. Like I'm an athlete, you know, some people are full.
Like here's a prime example. I'm not saying it. You know, Lori's wearing a little pink sports bra. Perfect, good. I'm cool with it. You know, it's
overbearing
to her body. It's balanced to her body. You know, when I'm looking at her, I'm like, Jesus Christ, look how big Lori's boobs are. They're balanced to her body. You know, you know, I mean that. You want them natural looking, not overbearing, but fitting to your body. That's all I'm saying. And I've seen them, Raheem. I was at the World Championships. I was standing right next to her and her coach, Dennis James, and I was just like, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, and right here, Mr. Black Mantis, what's your thing? We hadn't heard from much from you lately. Yeah, it just.
No, you know, my thought is like, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
My thought is, my thought is like I know she got to do surgery on that like 10 years from now or something to get repaired and stuff. That's a lot.
Not really repaired. She just went
bigger.
Yeah, not really repaired. Most women you get repaired.
I mean, like you know,
her and Isabel have the same doctor.
Corey say?
I think her and Isabel.
But don't she gotta see the doctor? Don't she gotta like get it done again or something, like maintain it or something like that?
That's
like the guest you had.
Yeah, it's like every 10 to 15 years. It's not every, you know, just do it. Just it's maintenance.
Not every year. My bad. I didn't. Yeah, I'm trying to. I meant like every 10
Lori,
years.
I guess Lori can ask Lori the question. Lori, are you natural or are you not natural?
No, I have an augmentation.
So, I mean, how often do they say to get them done? Every 10 years?
Well, I'm over 10 years for sure, but I think more the 10 to 20 range, no longer than that. I'm probably waiting till I'm done bodybuilding because obviously I don't want to take the downtime for training, and I just kind of like where I'm at. You know, I can still develop I'm under the muscle, so I still can develop all my chest muscle the way I want to. You know, because I like to have that big shelf chest. I want to be able to.
I noticed a lot of female bodybuilders getting the boob job. So.
Well, I know men who get the gynecomastia surgery. If you start bodybuilding and all of a sudden you got man boobs, I've had
it done.
They get the gland removed and gets rid of the shelf, that weird boob look.
I've had it done. It cost me $5,000. You know, I had golf-sized balls, tissue underneath my show before when I was an amateur before USA's, and I had to have it done. It was $5,000. And
it's disheartening because like your fucking body's completely tuned in, and then you got this weird.
Yeah, and they call them bitch tits.
Yeah, I seen that. Okay.
It's
funny be no bodybuilder. I'll tell you that.
It doesn't happen to all men, but you know, I know. Actually, I know a lot of men who've gotten it done, who've gotten into bodybuilding and physique, because it's something you really don't figure out until you're in it.
Well, I didn't know.
Right. He Heaven says, Andrea's never a power lifter. We never said she was a power lifter. I said Andrea Yo is a power lifter. You should have been listening. We never said she was a power lifter. I said Andrea Yo is a power lifter. She does powerlifting. Also, this is from Vinny. He says this. This is from Warrior 2000. I mean, Vinny, I doubt that Sherry Piami and Julia Witzel will be in the top 5 as finalists. Yeah, I think I'm probably with you on that. Also, this is from Warrior. He says Vinny, Andrea Shaw, Angela, Michaela, Mela, and Natalia will likely be in the top 5, which I agree with them. I think I most definitely agree with them. Also, this is from Keith. Keith from Glenn says, write it down. There will be an upset at the top 3 spot. Lori, let them know your plan for 2024. Need to plan a shoot. Well,
Glenn, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you got Glenn's information. He probably but the thing is, Glenn, I don't agree there's gonna be an upset. Other than I think it's gonna be the same. Now with Hella out, you're gonna have somebody taking her spot. It's gonna be between Michaela and Mela. If Mela can bring in conditioning, because remember the last year she kind of fell off because it was a mess. The Vegas thing was a mess. What I heard, but if she brings in conditioning, where she possibly, if her conditioning can be better than Angela's, she might take second. But if not, she's going to take third or fourth. And
I got Mela in third spot right now, and like I said to you, and she'll tell you I quoted her. I said this to her face at the Worlds. If you come dry from the back, because from the side she looks, her hamstrings, IT bands, the drop, the glutes. But if she can get her hamstrings harder and her glutes harder, because she had a little loose skin back there from the back, she is, because from the front she looks great. Man, it's gonna be interesting because she can. I don't know if she can beat Angela, but she can definitely jump in that third spot for sure. I can tell you that right now. Because Michaela, she's great, unbelievable condition, but she's undersized. But it's a little too much conditioning. But like I said before, and I've said this about her all year long, I just don't know. They don't know what to do with her because
I love her. I think she looks. I mean, she just watching her training videos and stuff are always just like, man, she's a beast, man. She definitely.
But
my coach has mixed feelings about her physique and her look, but I don't know. I just think
and a lot of people do. It's because like when you talk about Hella and you talk about Makai, if you watch them pose compared to some of the other girls, they'll pose sideways or they'll tilt and do certain things because their body doesn't flow like an Angela or a Andrea or a Maya for that matter. So they do certain poses in other orthodox ways to make their body look more aesthetically pleasing, because we all know Helena has that thick waistline.
So many people switching lanes now.
So
that.
I was like, what the hell? So
George, you getting all disco on us?
Yeah, like
no,
so I mean it's going to be a good, it's going to be that top 5 is going to be interesting. Let's just say that.
Yeah, because like I said, Michaela is, she's like 4'11". She's not that tall, and it's just, I think because her build is kind of like, she does have that kind of awkward looking build. She's very heavy and big.
A boyish build.
She got, she's very, very wide, heavy at the top, but very small and slender in the center, but not as much size in the legs, and like I said, she's still young. That's one thing is, she probably,
and I'm never going to take away her conditioning is fucking crazy.
Yeah. And she's been to Olympia. First Olympia was back in 2016 when she was physique. She was 16th. Then she switched back in, I think, 2019 to women's bodybuilding, and she's been to 2 Olympias since then, and she's still growing, developing.
Yeah,
I think.
I'm not quite clear on her age. How old is she now?
She's got about 28, 29.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's funny is it's like I'm a late bloomer, but it's like too, how hard and long do you want to run? Because there's definitely some sacrifices that happen if you start this sport young. There's just, it's just the side effects, man. You're like, how many? So I'm always like, I see people start young and you're like, oh my God, these people are going to be superstars. But this is a hard. That's why it's hard for me to talk shit about anybody, because it's such a hard sport. Like everything you do in the sport is hard.
Well, and
right?
you're right, Lori, because Tina said it best. She says, George, and this was, because I got to sign out because I got basketball practice soon with my girls. But Tina said it best when you said last week, you says, how can we get young girls into this sport? You know why we can't? Because it's too fucking hard. It's hard. Am I right? Lori, you just said it. It's so hard. It's so hard to be disciplined to do what you ladies do, that young girls in this age, just don't want to work that hard. I mean, what you guys do is so refined, and I, know, and I respect what you guys do, but it's so hard. So getting a younger generation of people in there, I just don't know if they have that work ethic, that it takes to get there, so that's the big.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's why I always laugh when people ask me like, do you think bodybuilding's a sport? I'm all, spend a day with me and tell me this isn't a sport.
For real.
See if you live. See if you live.
Well, I got to sign out. I got girls. I got a third, fourth grade team and a fifth grade, sixth grade basketball team. I got to go coach right now for the season starts. So it's good seeing you guys. I'll see you after Olympia.
Mwah.
Happy Halloween.
Say hi to Tina.
Yeah.
I will.
I will.
All right. So thank you. That's my big brother, my man, Mr. Big Keith Williams. Shout out to him. We'll be here for just a little bit longer. Then we'll probably head out. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting show. Coming up.
There's a lot of good girls in this show, and like we kind of know who the top is going to be, but it's that top. Well, there's only 10, so we're kind of looking at the top 5, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to make top 10. So
yeah, because that's it. It's really top 10. There's no prize money after 5. I think you get 1, 2, 3, 5.
But it's definitely going to be an open. I don't know. I just, there's so much good talent too that it's really going to be hard to see who stays in the numbers, man.
Yeah, we got here. Lawrence Perkins says, hello everyone. He says, nice looks. Yeah. Also, this is from him. He says, exactly, Keith. That's what concerns me about Natalia Kovaleva, because she's not consistent. And also, this is from Warrior 2000. Says Glenn Young, Shauna, Chelsea, and Julia are freaking kidding me, dude. He probably is, but he probably believes that they have a shot. I like Rashada. I like Sherry. I've interviewed them both, and I've met Rashada firsthand. Chelsea, I think she still needs time to grow. I think she said she wanted to take out this last year. She said she wanted to take out this year to grow, but then she was convinced, and then she turned and she won Europa. And this is here from Warrior 2000. I don't play games when it comes to sport. I tell you like it is. Yeah. Shout out to him. Yeah. It's like I said, there's impressive ladies. As a fan, I'm kind of disappointed that we don't have as many women bodybuilders. Christina, she dropped out for her health reasons. I mean, I posted something. I said it's not. I said I'm not sure because of health reasons. It is health reasons. If something wrong with you, saying your body's not, it's a health reason.
Yeah, if your body's not responding to training, if your blood work comes back just nasty, and you're taking a chance. I know a lot of athletes who would just keep pushing through that. It's a really personal decision. I also, I had some issues at Masters, and one thing I always was telling with my coach is like, if we have an honest conversation with me, I represent you, you represent me, and if you don't think I'm freaking ready to be on that stage, you need to let me know, because you only have certain times in your life to, you only have one life to live, and it's not dying over. And you always want to bring your best package. So I understand where she's coming from. You can't bring your best package if you're not feeling good, if you're not looking good. You don't want to, it's and she's young. She's got time. I do think though that if people are gonna drop out, they should maybe have an auxiliary list of maybe 2 to 3 people, so that they can keep a full show, which would be kind of cool. If people drop out, which is totally acceptable, but they should maybe have an auxiliary list of 2 to 5 people. Just saying. Yeah,
I think Keith would agree with you like this. I think 2 people I think probably should be casualties is Teresa Vasek and Jessica Martin. They look great. Most definitely Jessica. She should have won Chicago over Christina, because I think she had the better aesthetics. She had competed since 2021, so she had been active for nearly 2 years. She came in, she looked amazing. I saw on her social media she might be competing in 2024. Let's finger crossed me she get the right show. But like I said, there's fewer shows right now for women's bodybuilding, few opportunities. But like I said, it's just these impressive women coming here now, like the Michaela and Rashana and Mela, and I'm a fan of these ladies, and they really have a particular look about them. I mean, like I said, Michaela, she's still young, she's still developing, growing. I think Chelsea, she has
She always like that. Yeah, I'm
well,
sorry.
not always
Is she
every year.
always like that? Like like even besides competition.
You know,
Well,
so I look at it like this sometimes. Even with like the more aesthetically pleasing to the fans, bodybuilding has many different characters in it. Women's bodybuilding, you have your Natalias, you have your Chelseas, you have your Andreas, you have your shred monsters, your mass monsters. It's kind of like that old school men's bodybuilding. Everybody has like this their fans, their look. They're into it for different reasons. You know what I mean? Some people are looking for a career after bodybuilding. Some people are just in it for the straight bodybuilding. I know, like with the elite men's bodybuilding, it used to be like, some guys were in it because they wanted to move on and do different stuff. But then there were the guys you didn't see all year because they just do bodybuilding. That's all they wanted to do, like a Dorian. But then you have like an Arnold who wanted to move on and do different things. So that's why I like to, I understand these women are all doing different things in the sport, and they draw different types of fans. And I know the work that goes into it, so it's always really, they're all great characters in their own,
This is a picture of Oxenio Burrito, and she's from Brazil. Amazing body, good physique. One thing I hope she don't get flat, because I know last year she went she won both Romania and the Europa show. Then I think she did the Olympia. I think she took 7 or 8 at the Olympia. I think she really turned flat. I don't know. What you think, Lori, about Oxenio?
Let me put on my glasses because I'm the blind bandit today. I know, right? That'll be my new costume, blind bandit. I really like her. And you know what I really like too is the Brazilian girls like to get. They like that. They have good work ethic, man. They like to push some fucking iron. No, I like her. She looks good.
Yeah, and it's just these ladies. I just saw this lady right here. Somebody told me about her. She's 55 years old. I think she just turned pro. She's Russian.
She looks nice.
Wow. I mean,
oh yeah,
I know, right? It's that mature muscle, man. You can't beat it.
Yeah,
And
and
another
right
thing
here,
too is if you get into the sport a little older, you're not fighting your hormones. You know what I mean? Where it's almost a little easier on your body. I feel like if you're in your 30s, as you get in your late 30s and 40s, and because when you're young, man, there's just like a lot of stuff that you're messing with too. So
yeah.
and it's like, you decide you want to have kids, you want to do, where you want to go. So, and I've seen a lot of young girls get out of the sport because of that. So I have a lot of respect for that mature muscle, man.
And you have Julia Russell. I think Julia and I believe Julia and Chelsea are the youngest. I think Julia is 34, Chelsea's 31. This is Julia. This is Julia right here. Impressive back. She kind of. Keith might hate if I say this, but she kind of reminds me of Tina when she was when we first started, but a little bigger.
You waited until he left before you said that, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And then we have here, Lavinia Barreto, who competed last year. She's going to compete at the Romanian Muscle Fest of women's bodybuilding. And Lavinia, I think there's a good chance.
I like her look. I mean, I can barely see, and I can see her.
Yeah. I think she could possibly win the Romanian Muscle Fest to get her second qualification. I know she took a step back this year, but she just got breast implants a while back. She was kind of pure natural. This is from Lois Perkins says that's true. He says it's true. And here this is from Vinny says Jessica Martin. I know. I felt Jessica could have won. Nikki Chartrand's back in the game, and Nikki looked pretty good at Tampa. I felt like she was going to beat Michaela, she's been to the Olympia a couple of times, by points, and even I think she won the show. But it's like I said, it's gonna be a good show. I'm not gonna pay stream because it's too expensive. I mean, I think it's like $80-$70. I mean,
$80 for that?
I believe it is, because I think Keith said some people take where they were sharing their links with other people, and that's where we talk about the thing about if you do a stream and get memberships, like that would save money on people who want to see the show. Plus, you can see how the sport register among the people. This is from Warrior 2000. He says, "It's wishful thinking." Young Glenn, he's talking about Glenn Young, but folks, this is going to be a decent show. Like I said again, I'm kind of disappointed that it's not a stack show for women's bodybuilding. They just put out the list for 2024 qualification, so I'm gonna find out. We'll pull that up in a bit.
Well, hopefully they'll add a couple more pro shows. As you were talking about the one pro show they were going to add in Arizona, so that'll be good. They had Masters Olympia they added this year, so there's another opportunity for women to get Olympia qualified. So we just need to promote a little bit more women's bodybuilding in these shows.
Well, I know I saw that interview that Donna gave, I think with KL, and I think did she say KL that the Master Olympia is going to be bi-yearly?
Oh, bi-yearly.
Yeah, so they'll have it 2025. I know she said it to KL, she said it to Dave, one of the two. You can check Lloyd, see if it's true.
I'll double check that because maybe
I check.
That sounds. I'm not quite sure of that, but I've heard that rumor.
So you can check. Shout out to Jake. Jake, want that money?
No, Jake's the best, man.
I want that. Yeah, but one thing is, I think they might lose a show. That's in Portugal, I believe, because they only had 2 competitors this year. Last year was 4. 1 year was 6. Now with this whole thing with the issues with the visas traveling, I think some competitors need that show because if there's so few opportunities for you, you have to come to the States. And it's hard to get in the States where it is, especially you don't cross your T's and dot your little crazy eyes. Yeah. So
that's why I would like to see more pro. I love competing in Europe. If it wasn't just expensive to compete over there, to get over there and stuff, but I really enjoyed the competitors over there and meeting all the European, because you rarely get to meet a lot of the European competitors and everybody's just like super cool and it's definitely I'm looking forward to seeing Romania Muscle Fest too, because that's going to definitely be some talent in that show. A lot of talent over there. It's just kind of silly, the whole visa thing is
with governments you have to make sure you just can't let anybody. I know people talk about Mexico get in here, but that's across the border, and if you know anything about trying to get that border, it is hard, it's tough, it's not easy. The people who do get turned back, and like I said again, many of those people are descendants from the original people that live in this country, the original Native Americans. This is their much as their land as anything. America created borders, and like I said, it's not that easy. Sometimes there's a way you can get to the border and you just stay, but coming from another country across the ocean, most people from other countries don't want to come to America. They got a better living, especially countries like Norway and Scandinavia. Even England has better health care than America. It's most of these countries that's a little bit poor and there's more corruption in it. It's my man, Warrior 2000. Teresa Vasek lost at Toronto Pro this year. Can you explain, George, how she lost? Well, she just, I don't know. I'm not an expert. Maybe her condition was well compared to, to Julia's. It happens. You lose. Also, this is from Warrior says, Jessica Martin didn't get an invite to Miss Olympia. Jake Wood could have set that up. Why did he do it? Because he did last year for Irene, because Irene was 5th place the year before. And what I was told, he gave her the special invite. But he should have gave it to Jessica. I think she deserves it, especially with so low numbers. And he's supposed to be the ambassador for his bodybuilding. And where do you see Oxenio Santos George placing at this show this year. She could probably 6 or maybe 7. If you don't come in better condition, probably 8. Or if you come in condition enough, she might hit the bottom. That's 10. So, but I think it's going to be a battle between her and Rashana, probably who's going to get 8th or 10th or 9th. Yeah. So, folks, it's already. I know in my area world it's already about 7 o'clock. And
We're looking at. Let's see what do I got over here.
You got.
I think I'm at like 4 or 5 this year.
Yeah.
Cardio time.
Yeah. It's time for the lovely Mrs. Conley to build the machine. We might see her
Cardio,
next year.
calves, and abs.
Yeah.
Cardio and auxiliary work. The grind never ends.
Yeah, and it's good for you to come on here. We hadn't had her in a while. She's been busy. She's doing big things. I think, like I said, Glenn reached out to you about doing a photo session maybe next year. Depending on what show you're gonna do. Like I said, that show in Arizona that's close to you in California, or you feel like you may want to.
That's another thing too. I love doing shows in Arizona. It's like right next door to me, LA. I'm definitely gonna try to stay closer to home. Last year they've had the master's application, and then they literally had like within 3 weeks you have to put in Rising Phoenix application. So I'm thinking of if they don't, I'm gonna focus on that application and then picking a pro show. So 2 shows in the works, and then just really already getting buckled in. Starting to buckle in for off season and making all those improvements that I need to improve, all the feedback I got. So that's what's on the burner so far, man.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Black Mantis, what are your plans as you are, we know who you are, but we will keep your identity secret.
No, I got I got a couple of interviews coming up, so I got a serious guest. This morning I was talking with a young lady. She do wellness and from England and stuff.
That's pretty good. You're going international. Well, folks, I am going to work on some stuff. As you know, I'm going to. I wish I could do a live on the Olympia, but I'm not going to pay that much. I'm sorry. I live on a budget.
I was just thinking,
This was like 3 days.
it's okay.
But that $80 is it for like the 3 days for weekend?
I think it might be that or more, because the
Lord,
Olympia
I
is a
hope
big.
it is.
Yeah, the Olympia is a big show, and it could be.
Yeah.
You can check and research it, but I know it costs. And that's $80. I can put to something else.
Well, there's always the post show, right?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. You can catch them like Female Bobby Channel probably do something like that. You can check out them. Or maybe Dave might. Because Dave Dave Bryant, he lives in Florida. He might be going there. He might do something. Might take some.
Is Glenn gonna do anything? I know he got his press pass this year.
Well, Glenn says, like I said, Glenn's going to be going Wednesday morning, so he's going to be there by Thursday, and he's going to do some photo shoots. I've already posted on my IG. I might post that. He just commented what he made. I might just take that video I might take a video, cut it, and post it onto there later. But if ladies who follow my channel, because I know some ladies who do follow me, if you are at the Olympia, if you're not even competing, if you're still in condition or just good enough, where you want to do a photo session with Glenn and for the Amazon Fitness magazine. Also, this is from Glenn here. He says, "Yes, I will be doing something. Stay tuned." Good luck,
cool.
Good to you. Also, this is for Warrior 2000. Says it's so effing ridiculous how expensive it is to pay for a live stream. Yes, it is. And like I said, that money could go to gas, groceries, stuff like that. But like I said, if you can get with the people who can maybe do like what Big Keith says, that would work. The streaming, bodybuilding. Everybody has their own network for sports, golf, tennis, football, the NFL, everybody. But bodybuilding does it. I mean, because it's still like considered mainstream. But if people are interested in it, who have the means of way, who are fans, you're like guys who are fans out there. There's a lot of guys who are smokers, who are very rich. All you gotta do is hire somebody to be a representative for you. And they can do all the talking. You don't have to know it's you. You just put the money behind it. Also, talk to promoters. That if you're a family bodybuilder, all you need maybe if you can get enough, you got to pay the sanctioning fee to the manions, and also you got to put up the money for the prize money. You can talk to some of these promoters that maybe have one or two divisions at the show. Or like I said, or somebody like Linda Murray. I love Linda Murray, big fan of hers. What she's doing, Linda, she needs another show. She lost both Norfolk and Savannah last year. This year. And and then maybe get her in Texas, because I know a lot of ladies who are bodybuilders, especially ladies like yourself, Lori, lives on the West Coast, who love to do
Texas
a show.
is a great place that I would do a show in Texas, and I really miss. That was one of the pro shows I wanted to do when I went pro with Savannah. I was really sad that show went away. So,
but we have Atlanta now, so that's just within this, so that's a good shoot at. But I think if you just need enough people to come together and want to see women's bodybuilding, do it. Just do it. And I know, and you're rich enough, you can write off his taxes. You can write it off. So, folks, I do appreciate my man Big Keith. He's gone, and he's right off the sudden that he's going to do his dad thing. Shout out to Mr. Big Keith. He's planning on coming back and competing one more time. Also,
nice.
Shout out to lovely Miss Lori for coming through, and and wearing she's a cardio woman.
Cardio women.
Yeah, yes. Cardio woman. Yeah. And shout out to.
And I appreciate you too. I always appreciate the opportunity to come on here and chat with you guys. Always a good time.
All right, we thank you. You're welcome. And right here, shout out to Black Mantis. We know your identity. I think he's getting education. He's come a long way. But it's good that he's come here, took the time to sit and listen, and also give his thoughts. Because we really, anyway, we're gonna say this, and we said we're gonna end this off with top 5. We're just gonna talk about women's bodybuilding with physique. Name your top 5s, ladies first.
I don't know all their names. I'm gonna let you do you.
Okay, let me go first. Okay, for women's bodybuilding, I'm going to say, without a doubt, Andrea, Angela, Mayla, Michaela, and Natalia. I'm going to give it to Natalia. For physique, I want to say Brooke Walker. I'm going to say...
I see you. I love her. She's
I would say Natalia Cueto, Sarah Vilgas, Emmy Schubert, and I think I'm gonna go with Ann Moon, since her countrywoman Barbara Majar's not competing this year.
How about Ivy Ryan? You just gonna think she'll make it in the top 10?
She might be 6th.
Yeah, she dominated Masters. She's dominated the shows she's been in, so she might be our wild card too.
Yeah, she might be wild card. So go ahead. Who want to go next?
I'm gonna move on to Mantis. I want to hear what Mantis has to say.
No, I mean you could go.
He's not that good with all the names either. Just pick your top 3. Just pick your top 3. Just pick your top 3.
All right. Andrea Shaw. I want to say Natalia, but I know that Natalia is going to be Angela Yao and Natalia.
Okay. And who's your top 3 in physique?
I go with Brooke Walker and Emily Schubert. Who else? Maya Ash.
No, Maya doesn't compete in
bodybuilder.
physique.
Oh, okay, my bad. I'm sorry. That's all I know, right? Oh, is Sarah Vegas? Oh, no, not Sarah.
Yes, yes, she's physique.
Okay, I'll put Sarah Vegas there.
Okay. So, Lori, do you have we'll put Lori for your top 3 because like I said.
Well, of course I think it's gonna be a classic battle between Andrea and Angela. I think after that it's gonna be kind of a horse race. It's You know what I mean? Because they're dudes toe to toe after that. So he just brings their best after that. Physique, definitely. Natalie, if she came in like if she comes in better, if she brings a better package than she brought last year, I don't see how you're gonna stop her. And then of course Sarah, and then I'm gonna go with your girl, Miss Walker, I think. And then I think Iron's gonna make the mix. And yeah, that's that. Boom.
Okay, well, that's it, folks. So that's a good lineup. We might get the same old as was last year, or we might get some shockers. I doubt there's gonna be any shockers. If it is, I'm gonna say robbery. Robbery. They
Who
strong
robbed
on robbery.
somebody?
Who robbed? Who created crime? Who if you're good at it, now let it be free. But
it's always awesome because I'm so excited to see everybody because they just like at that level. It's like, wow, everybody's just gonna bring it, man.
Yes. So anyway, I like to thank these lovely people, and I can thank these particular group of villains, as I like to call them, And Mr. Conley, you are beautiful.
I'm gonna sneak up and steal your cardio machine.
And to the Black Mantis. But folks, appreciate it for y'all coming through. I like to thank my man Vinny, Warrior 2000, Raheem Hamilton, Lawrence Perkins, Glenn Young. All you who watch this video, follow my channel, follow us on social media. Share, comment, subscribe this video. If you have a prediction, you can leave it in the comment section after the video. I would say name your top 3 or your top 5. Any division you want. It could be men's bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding, physique, classic physique. All the divisions that you feel deserve their spots. Recognize them. Okay. So anyway, folks, this is me on the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out. Have a good weekend and good week and
Peace.
good luck at the Olympia.
Peace.